Here we go. Oh yeah, baby! It's all off-road all the time! Oh yeah! Oh. Honda CR-V is basically a tank. Yeah, get it, girl. You got this. Oh, SRT action. And this ethanol does not like cold. Oh, shit! It's time to get some work done. It's April 1st here in Minnesota, and it's of course snowing ass, but we still have to complete our mission because the sun will be coming soon. It'll be car season. If this is your first time watching the channel, I'm Steve. I do car things with my cell phone. Well, we had a good street season last year driving around. Got to the track in the second to last video and ran 9.5, so that's good. We're sitting currently on some junk wheels. Now the street wheels that I was running were on custom Bogart rear wheels, and then we had Mickey Thompson, the ET Street R's on the back. They were a 255 60 15. They look just like this. But turns out you spin the ET Street R's a couple times on the streets and then they just continue to go away. They don't get any better than that. Called Mickey Thompson. They said, hey dummy, you can't actually drive those on the streets like all the time. You can drive to the track, you can race, you can come back. So I was driving them on the streets and they were overheating and they were just not really effective for what I'm doing. They looked really cool because obviously not a lot of FRSs are drag cars. And I definitely don't want mine to look like a drifter. That's not what I'm going for. So today we're going to be putting the new street wheels for 2023 on it. And this is the year that I think, well, we'll see. So if you've got a drag car with license plates, full cage, parachute, the whole thing, window net, obviously you need to run these on the streets. Hell yeah, we're gonna run those on the streets. These are 18 by 9.5 inky RPF ones in SBC. I think it stands for like a something bright coating or black chrome or something like that. Now currently the car is set up just perfect, ride height wise, corner balance, everything perfection for my drag slicks and skinnies at the track. Here's what those look like. So everything is dialed in on the suspension for that, and that's really what the purpose of this car is. So my hope is that I can put these new street wheels on and not have to touch the suspension, not change the ride height, not screw up the corner balance or the alignment or anything like that. I'm real big on corner balancing and alignment at the drag strip. It just makes everything more stable, goes in a straight line much better, and so I don't want to screw that up playing around with these damn street wheels. But we got to get these old junkers off, get the new ones on, see where the ride height sets when we set it down, and hopefully not make any changes, but probably can't get that lucky. It's a good chance to check out the custom QA1 suspension that I have in here. Double adjustableness. We're going to turn all that down so that when I set it back down, none of the valving is holding me up. Simply turn the adjustment knobs A little dark in there. You can see the adjustment knobs. Just turn them all the way to the left. Softens everything up. I don't know if I mentioned these are 18 by 9.5, 5 by 100 bolt pattern with a 38 offset. And the tires that I'll be running are these cheap ones. They look really good. The tread wear is good at 200, but I don't know. I got all this stuff from Mikey Mike at LSD Motorsports in Southern California. An old friend of mine happens to sell a ton of wheels. So give them a call. But yeah, these Federal tires, I don't expect much out of them. They look like they're super aggressive, but you know, F it. We're just street driving. Yeah, we're gonna need some more low than that. That is quite the gap-tastic gap band right there. Yeah, in the front too. So this was my fear. Looks like, well, once we lower it, we'll see what the camber looks like. I think some guys are going negative camber to tuck this into the fender, which is something I will not be doing for drag racing. We may have to just set this up on some suspension settings for the streets, and then when we're ready to drag race, just redo it with the corner balance and all that. But it's looking fancy. It's just going to require some more low. It's important for the car to show the people that have helped me on the parts and things like that. The biggest one being Full Blown Motorsports, where I am here today. QA1 and also G-Force. Actually, that brings me to why I'm taking the stickers off. We're going back to the street mode to start this season. The stickers look a little bit out of place. I'm not a big fan of people getting real cute with me on the streets. So I'm taking the stickers off. We'll do another one where I will have all the people that have helped me on the car. We'll just change it up a little bit because we can. Because one of the people that helps me out is Adam over at Blackfire Creative in Farmington, Minnesota, and he's got stickers on lock. So whatever we want to do after these are off are good. We're just gonna go plain Jane, sleek black car on some fancy wheels to start this off, and maybe a full roll cage and a parachute. So I measured the locking collar that you see down here. I dropped that down exactly 1 inch. So I'm just gonna run this coil over down to that point. I may need a different shock length if we're gonna be cruising this low. But I know a guy. It'll be fine. These are the QA1 double adjustable rear shocks that I have custom fit to the car. I'm currently running a kind of a soft spring. It's a 10-inch tall 175 spring. It's compressed about 30%, which is what we usually look for on a drag car, but we're getting way too much squat out of this thing, even with the compression turned way up. So, but I want to keep the softer spring for my street driving and use the shock to control how much it squats at the drag strip. So we're going to be putting some bit more high-end shocks on this car in a coming video, and they are going to be some bad bitches. That's what they're going to be. So if you subscribe to the channel, you'll probably see that video next. But once we get both sides down about 1 inch, we'll set it down and see where we're sitting. Another thing about changing your coilover ride height is
when you set this car down, or any car, you set it straight down, you look at it, and you're like sorting things out. Actually, when you set the car straight down, these tires are going to scrub on the floor. They're not going to be fully settled. So after you make your ride height adjustment, you'll want to roll the car a couple feet back and forth, and that's going to unscrub the tires. Car will usually drop another 3/8 of an inch, and then it'll show you accurately where you're sitting. I've heard from people where they say, I adjusted the coilovers and they keep dropping. I readjust them and they keep dropping. And that's what's going on, is you measure it just setting the car straight down, and then you go drive it and that 3/8 of an inch happens, and then you're sitting lower. So I'm not going to worry about clamping this locking collar up to the spring seat collar just yet, because we don't know that's our final adjustment, but do the other side and then we'll set it down.
All right, show me the low. What the? It's still high, but it's not settled, so it's getting better. It's getting better anyway. We still gotta do that front.
Well, up front here, we're running D2 coilovers for now. They're only rebound adjustable. That's going to be a problem, but I'm working on a solution. But as far as the fender height goes, I need about 1.5 inches to kind of get it right above that tire. These are double ride height adjustable, so you can dip the shock itself or the strut down into the base without changing the length of the strut. So this is a 3-inch total travel strut. I think I left 1.25 inches of downward. So when the car's sitting at ride height, it's got 1.25 inches of downward travel before it bottoms out, which is not ideal. I mean, ideally I'd have it in the middle, but I want as much upward travel at the track as possible. So out of my 3 inches of total stroke, I've got 1.25 inches down and 1.75 inches up. So I can't really go lower without really bottoming out on just about every bump, which some big bumps I already feel it bottoming out, but this is a fucking race car, you know? So I'm gonna loosen this. I'm just gonna dump the strut as far down into their base as I can. I could probably go further if I didn't have this collar, but we're kind of working with what we got until that solution comes through. So we'll adjust it and then it'll be fine. Now I could take this locking collar off, which, I mean, once the coilover has weight on it, it's usually, this collar's not really gonna move. I could take this locking collar out of here. I could also take this collar out and then just bottom out the adjustment collar into the base. I don't know if I'm going that far. We're gonna give it all it's got with the way it's set up, and then see what the ride height looks like. This isn't a car where I have to like just have it dumped down all 6 status. Actually, I think we are probably bottomed out into the base now, because it's not turning. Well, hey Steve, you just hit the locking collar. Okay, so we'll bring this all the way up because that's where we're going with it. And then we'll dump that thing all the way down in and see what we've got. My oil pan is protected on the 2JZ. It's not the lowest point. The cross member is about level with that, so we're good there. The downpipe is the lowest portion, and I don't want to scrape it on anything, but I guess if I do, it's not the end of the world, you know. But we're gonna see what we can do with playing this whole fancy street and hopefully 8-second drag car this year. All right, let's see what we got. Okay. Well, if it settles a little bit more than that, that would be good, but it'll settle a little bit more than that, and then that's kind of all we get. Not out of those front coilovers, but I think that should be all right. I mean, I'm not going for hot boy status. Yeah, looks like a 9-second streetcar for now. How about them wheels though? Those came out pretty good. I know one of the important things to all the FRS folks is how much the wheels and tires poke. There's no spacers or anything on this. So you can see the front tires there. Then the rear tire. Yeah, rear tire looks good. It's not bad. I don't know, this is important to the FRS folks. Yeah, that one works good. I think on the front they're putting some more camber into it, negative camber to get the top of that tire in. We're gonna put this on the alignment with these wheels and tires since we did make a ride height change, and we'll get all the alignment set up, but no crazy negative camber or anything stupid for this one. We're just gonna street drive it, and once the drag stuff's ready, we'll put the wheels and tires from the drag set up on there and get that all aligned right, and then go crack one off. Come on in here, come on in here. I'll get you one of those for $25 shipped. All you gotta do is hit me up on my InstaFamous. I'm not really set up to like sell things, like this isn't my main thing, but I had an opportunity at the PRI show to have shirts made with my own race car on it. Who doesn't want that? But I had to order 75 of them, so I'm really just trying to end up with like 3 shirts of my own. So if you want a shirt, let me know. Well, that does it for the new street wheels. Those are unsuspecting for all you Mopar owners locally. Again, those are the Inky RPF ones in SBC finish, 18 by 9.5. About as low as we can safely go on that front coilover, but I think it looks good. I didn't want it real slammed way down. So we're gonna start 2023 out on the streets, waiting on that built 8-second block. And we're kind of gonna just do this until that one's ready. Then we'll go out to the track and see if we can crack one off. But I'm happy with the way they came out. If you like the wheels, I think they look fantastic. I'm really not a fan of aftermarket wheels on most things. I'm just kind of old for that. But if you like these wheels, be sure to leave a comment in the comments. The next video, I believe we're going to be putting some crazy ass rear shocks on this thing. You won't want to miss that, so be sure to subscribe. Until then, see you next time, because we cars 24/7.